The end of another long week is here. That means it's time for the Left of Lansing Friday Short with Pat Johnston.
Here's the Friday Short for April 10th of 2026. Breaking economic news today, inflation rose to its highest rate in 4 years. The Consumer Price Index rose by nearly 1% this past month to put the CPI at 3.3%. And CNBC reports this rise is due to a 10.9% increase in energy prices, showing how higher energy and gas prices are trickling throughout the economy. But hey, Michigan, let's give more big-time tax breaks to billionaire tech bros and their data centers, right? Also, the BLS further says that gasoline prices soared by 21%. Now, this didn't have to be the case, but it appears that Bibi Netanyahu and Israel's right-wing government has quite the pull within the Trump regime. And I'll spitball here just for a moment, but maybe gutting wind and solar programs and jobs or gutting spending on EV cars was perhaps a bad idea. We learned this week, according to a study by the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, 2.5 million low-income people lost their food assistance right after the Trump regime and the MAGA Republican Congress pushed through its MAGA murder budget last year. And thanks to the MAGA murder budget, we also know that 171,000 working-class Michigan families will lose their Medicaid. On top of that awesome news, let's not forget how the Trump regime and the Republican Congress celebrated Dear Leader's insane and arbitrary tariffs on the working class. The Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development reports sharp declines of crop exports, with wheat down 89%, cherries declining by 62%, apples down 58%, and soybeans experiencing a harmful 46% reduction. Oh, but Donald Trump really cared about the farmers, didn't he? And the state of Michigan reports how materials for housing construction went through the roof, causing an increase in home prices by $10,000. Now, this is on top of another study released this week by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, showing working-class Americans paying an average of $900 more in taxes this year. At the same time, the wealthiest 1% will receive at least $1 trillion in tax cuts over the next decade. But everything is going according to plan, everyone. I hate to tell you that, because in a rare moment of truth-telling last week, Dear Leader Trump told the nation that America can't afford child care for everyone or Medicaid or Medicare for all because we're paying for his and Israel's war in Iran, a war that's probably cost already around $50 billion thus far, not to mention, of course, the 13 American service members lost and hundreds of others injured. And come on, people, would you rather have your money spent on free child care for American working-class families, or would you rather have your money spent on bombing and killing over 100 Iranian kids in a school for girls? It's just about priorities here. I know I shouldn't lose sleep over such a tribal thing, as Melania Trump calls it.
Doesn't amount to anything more than a tribal note.
You know what? I also think a brilliant idea right now is to force everyone back into the office for the entire week. Yes, there are jobs that you have to physically attend, like being a plumber or a farmer or like a surgeon. Oh, wait, I just think I quoted Weird Al there. But that being said, there are millions of office jobs in which workers don't have to be in the office every single day of the week. And we know that air quality improved during the pandemic because people weren't sitting in traffic jams for hours each day. But no, we are brilliantly forcing working-class Americans whose small wage increases are being wiped out by higher energy costs to drive in cars for 5 days a week, as gas prices soared by 21% over the past month. You want to understand why working-class voters are searching for someone who gets their daily struggles while the Trump regime's federal government covers up for the elite and untouchable Epstein Class and also rigs the economic game for the Epstein Class? Well, this Friday Short basically explains it. We've been sold lies by corporate MAGA Republicans who tell us that tax cuts for corporations and for Donald Trump, Jared Kushner, and Elon Musk will make our lives better. But of course, we all know it's nothing but a grift for the Epstein Class. And by the way, it's a message that has been dutifully pushed by the corporate media, which serves its corporate masters by telling you, don't look at the Epstein Class, blame a couple of transgender Americans for your economic blight. It's a way for the press to always keep pushing the lie that MAGA Republicans are the real fiscal responsibility party. One last thing, moderation, be it politically, economically, or even morally, has no chance after the way the Trump regime and the Epstein Class have economically raped the working class. And the working class is beginning to stand up and understand that fact. quite painfully. leftoflansing@gmail.com is the best way to reach me. Follow me on the socials, subscribe to the show on the YouTube, and subscribe and give a good 5-star review of Michigan's premier progressive podcast. Also, visit Left of Lansing on Patreon and consider a small donation to the show. Go Tigers and take the battle to them.